I know it's so early, but I'm so glad that you are here with me. Today, we are going to talk about how to take action when you are terrified, which I am doing in real time right now, which honestly is probably one of the reasons why I decided that I was going to go live on at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time on Saturday morning. Woo! I actually could have slept in this morning for the first time in like 3 months. But I woke up because that's how excited I am to be with you as we go over this together. So, if I'm just going to tell you now, anytime you have questions, you can leave it in the chat. I actually can't see the comments after the show on LinkedIn. I've talked to other creators and they have agreed that this is kind of is it working? I can't tell. I don't know. Oh, so fun. Let me see. It says yes. Okay. This is why I'm purposing to go on live at least 3 times a week so that I can get this thing rolling and learn about all the different mistakes that can happen. I know what happened. I know what happened. It was my fault. All right. It's okay. I opened another program and it tried to take over my microphone. All right. So, what I want to talk about today is how to take action when you're terrified. So I'm doing this really random thing. Well, it's actually, I'm going to give myself more credit, right? We need to like be careful about how we speak about ourselves, especially when it comes to mindset issues. So I am being extremely purposeful in creating a list of things that are they make me nervous. They make me nervous, wonderful friends. And so I made this list of 10 things I'm willing to fail at. And this podcast, this live stream is one of those 10 things. So I thought there's like really no better way. And I'm kind of like a meta person. You'll learn this about me. I'll like teach you a framework and then be like, guess what? I used this framework to write this thing I just presented. And you're like, oh, really? And I'm like, yes, because I wanted to prove to you that it worked. So I thought the most meta thing that I could do today would be to come on and talk to you about how to take action when you're terrified, which is literally what I'm doing right now. So let's roll into that. Okay, the first thing that you should do is publicly announce that you're going to do it, right? Which I set an intention. I was like, I'm going to do a live on Saturday. If you didn't know this, I actually did a live last Saturday testing out a different streaming software and it completely went horribly. So I announced I was going to do it. I tried it. I failed. I announced I was going to do it again. And now here I am in front of you live. Yay! So, what I would like to advise you to do is announce it publicly. Tell everyone, hey, I'm doing this thing. You can actually say that you're nervous about it. So, you're announcing it publicly. That's step number one. But step number two is actually having several conversations with people you care about and telling them why you're doing it, why it's important to you, and why it makes you nervous, and then asking them to follow up with you. So there's certain people that are going to follow up with me after this, and they're going to be like, hey, did you do it? And I'm going to be like, yes. Well, some of them will watch it and check out, they'll check on me live to see if I'm doing it. I'm sure one of those people just popped on actually. But so what I want you to do is pick out 2 to 5 people who you can explain all of those things to. Remember what you're doing, why it's important to you, why it makes you nervous, and then ask them to follow up. And this is your support team for this scary, terrifying thing that you're doing that unless I tell other people, unless I have accountability, I'm just not going to do it because my brain is telling me that this new thing that I'm doing is going to hurt me, because your brain will automatically trigger fight or flight anytime you do something for the first time, anytime you do something that pushes you outside of your comfort zone. And you need to set up this back end system to convince your brain to move forward. And accountability is one of those things. So we've done the first two steps. The third one is going to be to think about the benefits of this choice. For example, starting this podcast for me, what are the benefits? Well, I get more visibility. That's actually the main benefit. But also I get to meet other amazing people who love talking about business and storytelling. And that's a benefit for me because I can never have enough people like that in my life. Also, it will give me more credibility as a professional, and it gives me a unique place to showcase my, what do I want to say? My carefully compiled talents, right? Because I'm a copywriter, I'm a certified copy editor, and I'm a professional storyteller. I'm storytelling obsessed. So you need to think about the benefits of your choice. That will also help counteract the fight or flight response that your brain is going to try to throw in your face. Okay, so we have steps 1 through 3. Step number 4 is, this doesn't sound like a business strategy, but it is. Okay, you're just gonna have to trust me, and you'll learn. I'm gonna say things that are really mindset oriented so that you can get to where you are to be able to take action when you're terrified in general. So you need to remember that you, yeah, I'm talking to you, my wonderful friend, are worthy of love. Yes, like I said, this is a channel about business, but we need to remember this one fact to be able to show up as our confident selves. And without confidence, you cannot help the people who need your help most. It's that simple. You won't get the sale. You won't get the contract. You need to believe you can do it, or else no one else is going to believe it. I mean, there might be some people, right? And there have been people along my career who are like, Kristin, there's something about you. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. But they're like, I'm going to introduce you to this person, this person, this person. And then they do. And I have these amazing like bursts of growth because these people will trust me to do things I wasn't sure I could do yet. But I've learned that I need to first build up my own confidence, right? I'm the Confident Nobody. That's my other brand, is I have a self-help brand called Confident Nobody. I need to believe in myself to help others understand they can believe in me and that I can actually help them. All right, so remember you're worthy of love. Then you need to always have a plan to provide value for the people you want to help. So if you come on my channel, you're going to get the mindset steps. You're going to get the copywriting advice. You're going to get the storytelling frameworks. I'm going to show up and over provide value. I'm going to make sure that when you leave your time with me, that you feel better, you feel more equipped to actually do the thing that is your professional superpower, and that you have this feeling of, if I wanted to ask Kristin a question to clarify, I 100% could, because you can. Also, you can ask me questions right now. Just fill the chat with questions, and I will do a Q&A at the end if we have some questions from people who are like, I have to do this. How can I do it? No problem. So that was point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's go on to point number 6. How to take action when you're terrified. Find a digital mentor. All right, so what you're going to do, you don't have to approach this person yet. The first step is you're going to watch what they do. And if you love them, and you'll know, right? You'll start watching them more. You'll start going to their page instead of waiting for their stuff to show up on your feed. Go all in and join one of their courses or watch all of their YouTube videos. Basically, if you love them, make an informed decision to spend more time with them online without having to engage their services just yet, until you get to the point where you're like, okay, I know I want to do their course, or I want to hire them to do this one small job they do. That is how you're going to grow, by finding people out in the world, and now it's so much simpler, right? Because we have the online universe. You find someone who's ahead of where you are. It doesn't even have to be that far ahead, but you're like, okay, I love their vibe. I am finding their advice useful. I'm going to pursue getting to know them better. And then the next step and the last step in taking action when you're terrified is to find a in real life coach, IRL coach, as my kids would say. If you can, right? There's not like some people are like, oh, I want to work with this person. They charge $20,000 a year for me to work with them. I wouldn't say start with someone who's that expensive, especially if your business can't sustain that kind of expense. If you can sustain the expense and you're like, I know they're the person, go for it. There's no bad thing about hiring a coach. And also, if you hire them and you find out this isn't what I thought it would be, and I actually had to go out and find other support, you can get the things you need to from that coach that they offer and then move on to a different coach later, which most people do. And Dean Graziosi talks about this a lot. The person who helps you get to 100K is not the same person who's going to help you get to 1 million usually, okay? We have to realize that we can build relationships and hire people to help us, but just because we hire them doesn't mean they're going to be in our professional lives or our personal lives forever. It could just be that they're in our life for a season, and there's nothing wrong with that. It could also be that you hire that person and then you've learned, they're like, okay, basically you're on the same level as I am at this point. Let me introduce you to the next person, but they'll still be friends with you. And then you can talk as colleagues, which is super fun and satisfying because it shows you how much work you've done because that person was a mentor to you and now you're basically on their level. And I've seen a lot of people go through that. I haven't leveled up to that portion myself with my coach, whom I love. If you're watching this, actually, I know you're not watching this because you're at a conference right now, but if you watch it later, you know who you are, and I love working with you. And if you can't afford a coach at all, and you're like, Kristin, I don't have any money. I don't know where to go find this coach. The people online that I'm looking at are all super expensive. I would say there's this organization called SCORE that will actually match you up with an in-person mentor in your area. I just found out about it a week ago, so I haven't been able to do a ton of research on it, but I will be looking into this myself to find a local mentor. Also, it's good to know people in your physical location. The online universe is amazing, but sometimes you just need to go have coffee with a person, like in a coffee shop, and talk about all the crazy things that happen, like if a client was rude or you wish you could have done better on a job, or we still need to have in-person interactions. I do have a lot of interactions online, but even I, someone who is like super introverted, maybe you can't tell by the way I'm like showing up here and waving my hands around, but I'm actually really introverted, and I still need in IRL people, in real life people that I can go talk to. And I am part of a writing group for my fiction and nonfiction writing. So I haven't been to that group in the last month because it's been so intense with school starting for my kids, not for me. I'm not in school anymore, thankfully. But you know, I will go back, and those are the people. Those are like my NaNoWriMo buds, right? If you don't know what NaNoWriMo is, it's National, what is it? National Novel Writing Month. That's how out of it I am because I used to be able to do that like really quickly, but it's fun. It's the way that I was able to level up my professional blogging into novel writing and to nonfiction book writing. So if you're like, I don't know what to do, you are committing to writing 1,667 words every day for an entire month. And at the end of that, you'll have 50,000 words, which is plenty for a novel, unless you're writing like really intense, deep fantasy, and then 50,000 words is like nothing. And everyone in the genre will be like, why is this book so short? I feel like I didn't get enough money. I will tell you for nonfiction, the sweet spot is 35,000 words. So if I'm writing a nonfiction, like business type self-help book during NaNoWriMo, I'll write the 35,000 words, and then I spend 15,000 on another project. So last year I wrote 2 books that hopefully will be published soon. I'm working on them. And I just want you to know, okay, just like take a deep breath and adjust our mindset, because I was rambling a little bit, which is fine. But the key to taking action when you're terrified is to make sure that you have support, to make sure that you understand why you are taking action when you're terrified. If you don't understand that, it's going to be very difficult to convince your brain. So let's walk through the steps one more time before I leave you to your amazing Saturday. These are the steps to take action when you're terrified. First, announce you're going to do it publicly. Number 2, I said first and then I did number 2. If you're editing, don't do that. So number 1 was announce you're going to do it publicly. Number 2, make sure you actually have several conversations with 2 to 5 people you care about, and you're going to tell them what you're doing, why it's important to you, why it makes you nervous, and then ask them to follow up with you. This is your support team. The third thing, number 3, is think about the benefits of this choice. What can happen as a result of you doing this? And don't set your expectations too high too fast. But I will say I've already had like really amazing engagement just from going live 3 times. So you never know what's going to happen. Think through the benefits. 4, remember you are worthy of love. Yes, this is a channel about business, but you need to remember you're worthy of love to be able to show up as your confident self. Number 5, always have a plan to provide value for the people you want to help. You'll notice that I am using a list of 7 things, and I'm going through it with you because I wanted to make sure I could provide you with amazing value. Number 6, find a digital mentor. It's not even someone you have to talk to at first. Just watch their stuff and be more dedicated about watching it. And if you want, sign up for one of their courses. And the last one, number 7, is find a real life coach, IRL. And there's a great organization that will match you up if you don't already have someone in mind, called SCORE. I think it's score.com or score.org, one of those. Let me just double check this for you real quick. Okay, so it's not score.com. I feel like org is. Yeah, score.org. So you can do that. I'm going to put it in the comments. Score.org. So those are the 7 things that you need to do so that you, my wonderful friend, can take action when you're terrified. I believe in you. If you have any questions, you can comment, you can message me directly. I'm here for you to support you as you walk through your journey, no longer letting that terrified feeling stop you from making the progress that you want and need to make. I believe in you. Your business story is super valuable, and make sure to follow for more business advice and storytelling shenanigans.